to show up for Texas tonight.
It was the top three, Maloney, Henry, and Scott, who did most of the damage last night. Reese Basinger back in the circle. She has started every postseason game for Clemson since the ACC tournament. Clemson won that for the first time in their history, and Reese gets the ball again.
Well, it's hard to take the ball away from this year's ACC Pitcher of the Year. But you're right, Pam. They have started with Basinger every game of the postseason.
And every game she has been relieved by Brooke McCubbin, which is what happened last night. Basinger in the postseason, getting most of the work, but the decisions, a lot of them going to McCubbin out of the pen. And a great way to start for Maloney.
So important to set the tone early. Texas backs against the wall. This is a win or be done game for them tonight. Right back up the middle, past Basinger, got off the bat quickly and setting the tone. Maloney, 2 for 3 yesterday. Now a perfect 1 for 1.
And now Caden Henry, who creates chaos in so many ways. I would imagine the fastest player for either team. She was a terrific sprinter in high school in both the 100 and 200. And had a great game yesterday, 3 for 4 with a double and a 2-run single.
With Basinger in the circle, she's going to throw 63 to 64 miles an hour. She's a spin-focused pitcher with a curve to both sides of the plate and a drop. She has a fantastic changeup, will throw it to multiple times to batters, and does not waste time. Very efficient in the circle.
She is a transfer, her first season for Clemson after spending time at Winthrop. Played there for 3 years. Said she only went to Winthrop camps growing up and really never thought that she would be able to play at a high level in college, if at all. Basinger grabs it, no way that they're going to get Henry, but that's a good and heady play right by the pitcher to know exactly to go to second base right away.
So important to play solid defense and helping herself out. Basinger in the circle.
Mia Scott hit a home run yesterday. As you take a look at the defense, Maddie Moore terrific over there at second base. A lot of freshmen on this team. 3 of them typically start. 3 true freshmen start in the field for head coach John Rittman.
They had so many graduations, pillar kind of players for their program, and with that, bringing in young talent that had to take their lumps early in the season.
Marion Collins, the true freshman, playing at shortstop. Abby Vieira, who is an excellent catcher and leader. Here she is, the senior behind the plate. One with Henry over at first. That is sent into left field, but tracked nicely by Johnson for the second out. Clemson 12-0 in night games this season.
Yeah, the night games have bode well for them here at home. We talked to the Texas players asking if playing at night was different than playing during the day. They said yes, and because of that, Coach White gave them a practice before this super regional to get their eyes adjusted to playing under the lights.
Reese Atwood did not get a hit yesterday. Swings at the first pitch of this at bat, and it is grabbed. Basinger only had to throw 11 pitches. The leadoff single by Maloney, but starting at third base this year. And shows bunt as we get underway. Bartling behind the plate, calling balls and strikes. Cambria's last start again against Dayton. They played at Ohio State. 6 innings, 7 strikeouts. Gave up 1 run, it was unearned. Also started against Stanford in Tucson among her 7 previous starts. So Stanford, a really good team. Clemson, 1 win away from the World Series.
Well, and out of the circle, they're going to see Salmon throw upper 60s, combination of screw, rise, and drop. Also has a changeup, but it can be too slow at times, allowing a batter to double clutch.
Handled by Leanne Good at shortstop. Yes, Good starting at shortstop tonight after Katie Stewart had some hiccups last night, and you will see the reconfiguration. This is the way the things ended in the game last night, with Stewart going from short to left, Good over at shortstop, and Bennett at second base.
And I like the smile on Stewart's face out there in left. Bennett now over at second base, who was your starting left fielder last night.
And shortstop has been a problem for this team because their starter, Viviana Martinez, Vivi hurt her knee back in October in the fall season, and they've been kind of searching for a solid replacement. And Stewart had some hiccups, including an error last night, and is not starting there this evening.
And it may not have been recorded. Those errors, there's Viviana Martinez in the dugout, still not able to take the field. They say she's healthy, but not really wanting to burn an entire year here at the end of the season.
Maddie Moore, the second baseman, who's really been a spark plug for this team, improving her numbers. Let's take a look at the last pitch.
Well, last night, the zone was pretty low, and there was some conversation between Bartling, the umpire, and the catcher, Reese Atwood, after that. Atwood very disappointed not getting that call, and you could hear or see the umpire tell her, don't pick it up, give me a true receive back there behind the plate.
She did move her glove quite a bit. And Atwood is an excellent catcher. That's a pop-up into short right field. Bennett, playing at second tonight, went back on it nicely for the second out.
And everybody talks about those bloop hits that have been kind of the Achilles heel for Texas. They get a lot of miss hits because of the movement of their pitching staff, of the ball coming out of the circle. And with those miss hits, the ball continues to find its way in between the infield and outfield for those wonky hits.
Yeah, we saw a lot of wonky hits off of Kavan last night. Here's Noller, as Kavan was jamming up the Clemson hitters, but they were just finding the grass. John Rittman started this program a couple of years before they hit the turf for the first time in 2020, and really remarkable what he has done.
Taken all 5 of his teams to the postseason since that first full season in 2021.
Noller, the first baseman, takes it low. Noller had a big hit in the 6th inning, a 2-run double. And yet another come from behind win for the Tigers.
Noller had a fairly quiet regional tournament and went just 1 for 10. It was a home run against Kentucky, but then matched that total yesterday, going 1 for 4. It was a double.
Yeah, doubles are her specialty. That one hit you talked about in the regional was a double, and the hit last night was a double.
Gotta love it. And back behind the plate, Atwood still trying to buy strikes, but receiving a little bit more quiet now to give a truer look for the home plate umpire.
2-2 pitch. That is off the plate.
We mentioned it last night, Pam. There's a lot of umpires here in Burnt Orange tonight, begging for strikes.
Another great crowd at McCombs Field. And the team in all orange tonight is Clemson, but it's definitely not Burnt. Over the glove of Good at shortstop, so a 2-out single for Noller.
Nice job just driving that ball over the head of Good. It looked like she had it timed well to get the catch. Came up with a case of the alligator arms, I think. Didn't reach as high as she could have. That should have been a catch.
So Noller over at first for the DP, cleanup hitter Macy Cintron. Cintron, one of those 3 true freshmen who get the start every day for Coach Rittman. Held hitless yesterday. Gets that one inside.
And Cintron, very reminiscent of one of the players that graduated last year. Valerie Cagle was a two-way player for Clemson. Cintron comes in as a two-way player, but has not thrown as many innings for Clemson this year. Has been used more in the DP role because of how well she's swinging it.
Little backhand flip over there. Confident play by
Ian, and with the sun going down, it is absolutely beautiful.
Jolie Mitchell going to start things off for Texas. Notre Dame transfer in her second year in Austin, had a double yesterday. And she gets hit. Her second straight inning that Basinger has put the lead runner on.
Got plunked, and you can hold your ground in the batter's box. That ball well inside the batter's box. She even tried to get out of the way of it.
21st hit batter of the year for Basinger. And now Katie Stewart, who is once again batting in the 6th spot. Stewart hitting .373. It was 0 for 4 last night. Bottom of the order has been a problem for Texas for most of the season. But Stewart more than capable. Pops it up. Rock and Bro. Right by Bevo's horn. I was going to say antler, but it's a horn.
Please don't call that an antler.
Leanne Good playing shortstop today after starting at second base the last several games. And John Rittman out to have a little convo with Mike Bartling. And Mr. Bartling is going to go talk to Mike White.
Not sure what that conversation was about, but it seems pretty inconsequential as we now just resume game.
Yeah. Whatever it was, it didn't upset Coach White. So Good steps in and she hammers it. Leon Good with the 2-run home run puts Texas on top. Just what Clemson needed, or Texas needed rather, to jump on top early against Clemson. Welcome those of you who just saw Nebraska win at Tennessee. This is game 2 of the Super Regional between Texas and Clemson. Pam Ward and Jenny Dalton-Hill with you. And Texas, who lost last night, needing to win, got on top with this.
Here's what happened, Leanne Good. She's good. Ball went far over that 10-foot wall out there and left. That's the scoring here tonight. 2-0 advantage for Texas.
Good. Moving one slot up in the order tonight to the 7th spot, hitting that 2-run home run off Reese Basinger, who is the ACC Pitcher of the Year this year in her first and only season with Clemson after coming over from Winthrop. Ahead of Quiroga, 0-2, who is in the DP slot tonight.
Texas has struggled to find that DP that can produce consistently in the lineup for them. We've seen it as a revolving door for Mike White, going with another different defensive or DP tonight.
Texas trying to force a decisive Game 3 tomorrow, and Clemson 1 win away from its first Women's College World Series appearance ever. They are back in the Super Regionals for the third time, and yesterday was the first time they had won a Super Regional game. They had been 0-4 in games in their previous 2 Super Regional appearances. And making a little bit of history, that's down the left field line in foul territory, chased down by Kylie Johnson for the final out. The Texas, the big bop, Leanne Good.
Deep drive, and they're used to seeing Basinger. They saw her last night making a
Salmon who gets the start. Freshman has not gotten a lot of action this year.
She hasn't. Just her 8th start on the season, but does have the lowest ERA on staff. Has 3 complete games on the year, but has been used more as a reliever for Texas this season. Had a rough outing against Mississippi State, but 5 appearances since then have been very solid.
First inning, she gave up a 2-out single to Julia Noller, but got out unscathed. Abby Vieira, the veteran catcher, starting things off as we look at Cambria's numbers.
I mean, they may be kind of a short list, but she's been very effective in giving the freshman the start in the circle. Bodes well for the future of her.
Just a true freshman from Beaumont, California. And again, that last start came against Dayton back in March. Tegan Cavan taking the loss last night. Vieira, that's a number. And she is able to beat it out. Maloney quickly comes up to get it, so a leadoff runner on here in the second for the Tigers.
Vieira is the doubles leader for Clemson. That one didn't catch much of the barrel. Definitely not a double. Got enough of it, kind of like a sack bunt right in front, or a drag bunt right in front of home plate. Used her wheels to get down the line.
Marion Collins, 2-run double in last night's Clemson win, as they took it by the final of 7-4, coming from behind. Collins has been great in the postseason, hitting .500 since the ACC tournament. That is best on the team, but a swing and the miss.
You've got a free swinger at the plate, and with this ball down, trying to take advantage if it might sit flat. Did not advantage Salmon. Well, and Pam, I'm kind of curious why Mia Scott is challenging Collins at the plate. Not a ton of speed, no stolen bases on the year. She's known for power, so Mia Scott playing right up in her grill. Kind of a unique spot as she's tight up the line on that third base side.
And no indication of any kind of a bunt from Collins.
No, Collins in double-digit home run numbers this season. She's a combination of power and average. Definitely not a touch-and-go kind of hitter.
Coming off a spectacular regional where she was 8 for 9. It's hit to the left side. Bennett retires Collins as Vieira gets down to second. One away.
Just a smart play by the second baseman to recognize there's no need to force a play at second and maybe not get the out. So routine play over to first, and Clemson now with a runner in scoring position.
And that brings up another true freshman in Taylor Pipkins as Reese Atwood goes out to speak with her pitcher. And again, a little bit of a shakeup in the infield. Good playing short tonight. Bennett over at second. Stewart, who had been the shortstop, is now in left field. That's the way the game ended last night defensively, and Mike White started things off that way tonight, and you were not at all surprised by that.
No, I actually penciled it into my lineup knowing that they needed to make a change at shortstop. There may have only been one error on the day yesterday, but there were some mental miscues that gave up the advantage to Clemson in certain situations. So this change, I think, is going to help out Texas be a little bit more solid defensively.
Stewart had that error at short and a couple of other plays that were a little shaky, and you get her out in left field and maybe help her confidence, take some pressure off when she's at the plate, perhaps.
Well, we saw her smiling earlier. We did not see that smile at shortstop last night.
Sent into right field. Maloney closes and then throws a dart to good at short. 2 away. So game 2 of this best-of-3 Super Regional. Mike White, going back to his days when he was in charge at Oregon, has now lost 7 straight game 1s, but in supers, but has rebounded.
He has. His silver lining is he's 5-1 in that second game of the Super Regional, hoping to get win number 6 tonight to keep this team playing for another day.
Riley Johnson at the plate. Clemson has won 11 straight games. Their last loss came against Boston College in mid-April, and their next game was a midweek where they beat Tennessee, who was at that time #1 in some of the polls.
Yeah, that was the first victory over a #1 ranked team ever in program history. It was a huge turning point, I think, for this Clemson squad to just build that belief in themselves. They've been having fun playing together all year, but they've had to endure some bumps along the way with young freshmen learning lessons.
Johnson down 0-2. That one floated in at 47 miles an hour. And you had mentioned sometimes that Mike White thinks her changeup is a little bit too slow.
And when a changeup is too slow, it tips the hitter off to be able to hold up, clutch, get back through that swing. You need to make sure that the speed has velocity. Look at that giddy up on that rise ball. Up, strike, swinging through. Salmon. She may not have a lot of starts on the year, but she is giving Texas a great look from the circle.
Yes, they're the higher seed, but they were the home team yesterday. Will be the home team again tomorrow if they force a game 3, but the away squad tonight, and here's the top of their lineup in Maloney, who started things off with a single. Both innings, Texas has gotten a lead runner on, and it was a hit by pitch of Mitchell that allowed it to be a 2-run home run for good.
We talked about it early, Pam. This is the second night in a row that Basinger has started, and when you face a pitcher multiple times, you get to learn their tendencies, hitting live off of them, and Texas has made adjustments quickly.
For Clemson, it has been the 1-2 punch exclusively since the ACC tournament. They've started every game with Reese Basinger, and every game she has been relieved by Brooke McCubbin. Just 2 pitchers have been used by the Tigers during that time, and they've won every game. Shortstop, the freshman Collins, races Maloney to start the 3rd.
So important to be aggressive moving forward through a ground ball from a slapper, especially to the left side. I've been impressed with the arm of Collins, throwing in a couple different arm slots. And there's Kat Osterman, iconic Longhorn, the only 3-time first-team All-American in program history.
And we are going to have her on with us up here in the booth in just a little bit. Looking forward to talking to Kat, who, like my partner here, Jenny Dalton-Hill, my broadcast partner, is involved with the AUSL, whose initial season gets underway very shortly.
We'll try to keep things above board because she's the GM for the Volts. I'm the GM for the Bandits.
Competition much?
So maybe we'll be friendly tonight, because next week, I'm out to get her.
Maybe she's not working a trade right now, huh?
No, don't say that, because she probably is.
Here's Caden Henry. He's been one of the all-time greats, not just in Texas history, but in all of softball. So looking forward to visiting with Kat. Henry reached on to fielder's choice in her first at bat. Takes a strike from Basinger. Last night, Caden went 3 for 4 with a double, 2-run single, and used her speed to score a run. 2-2 pitch. Just flares it out into right, playing shallow and then making the diving catch. Taylor Pipkins to Rob Henry.
So impressed with this freshman out in right field. Pipkins has swung such a solid bat for Clemson this year, but her defense shining in the postseason. Huge diving play out there in right.
Pipkins, again, one of those true freshmen that have made their mark. She's the MVP of the ACC tournament. Grand Slam against Virginia in the quarterfinals. And she has been red hot at the plate, and as you mentioned, Jenny, she's made some really good plays in the outfield. Here's Scott hit a home run last night, and it's so important, right? You keep Henry off. You don't want her on first base, because then it's almost a double.
No, it was a drag bunt by Mia Scott that scored Henry from first base yesterday. Texas got on the board first. Clemson able to respond later in the game, but so important to keep Henry off the base pass.
And that brings Scott up with the bases empty and 2 away. She flew out to left her first time up. Wind blowing from right to left right now. Charged by Moore, who's an excellent second baseman, has to throw on in a hurry, and that's the first 1-2-3 inning for Basinger. 2-0. This is with a 2-0 lead in this super regional game. Athletes Unlimited, the AUSL, about to get underway, and we have half of the general managers in the league in this booth right now. Jenny Dalton-Hill with the Bandits, and Kat Osterman, the one, the only, the legend, who was so terrific here. Kat, thanks for joining us, and I guess you must be looking forward and pretty busy looking forward to the season.
Yeah, we are. We leave next Tuesday, get up to Chicago, and everything gets started. So spring training, and then we go straight into it. But really exciting. I mean, good, exciting times for pro softball, and just feel like this is it. And it's going to be fun. All 4 teams are going to tour the country. We're going to hit 10 different cities, 10 different markets, and really get pro softball out there, because I think that's kind of where it fell through in the past, was just everyone knowing that we're there. And I don't think there's a doubt that AUSL has made their name known so far.
Well, and you've been part of pro softball for many years. This is not your first go-around. You went to AU to be able to prepare for the Olympics, and then you've played at all levels. So what is it that really has been the push for the AUSL that's maybe been different in this venture rather than in pro leagues of past?
I think the biggest push is the fact that all 4 teams are owned by the same entity with Athletes Unlimited. So therefore, all of our athletes are getting the same equal experience. There's not, I was on a team where we were in dingy apartments, and I was also on a team where we put up in nice houses in Florida. So I mean, I saw both ends of the spectrum, but you don't have that variance. Everybody's going to have good housing wherever we are, transportation, all of it's the same, so that nobody really gets a bad experience. Everyone should be loving their life as a professional athlete and being able to be a professional athlete and not worry about the rest.
This is Brockenbrough getting things started. Mia Scott throws her out to start the 3rd inning.
Well, and I think the unique part about it, Kat, is you've been able to be involved in AUSL from the very beginning. I mean, you played as an athlete in AU, but then put on the advisory committee to be able to start the AUSL. So what has that process maybe been like, knowing that you were there at the very grassroots level?
Yeah, well, when I retired, I told John and Jonathan that I wanted to be part of AU as long as they wanted me to. And so when the advisory council came up, I said, absolutely. I think I was the second one to say yes, behind Mendoza. And from there, it was like, okay, what have we liked about pro softball? What hasn't? Where have the discrepancies been that we need to try to make sure we fill? And just having those conversations. And then the fun part was obviously trying to come up with the head coaches and, like yourself, the general managers. And then, the other 3 convinced me that I should put my name in the hat. And so here we are. But it was just fun to see a pro league have to be put together. And as athletes who have been part of the process in the past, have a say in how to make it better and genuinely put the athlete first.
Alex Brown up now, and exciting too, because it's real teams, so you set rosters, so 4 teams that are going to be barnstorming, as you mentioned. So you were amazing player here at Texas. Is it still, do you still get nervous when you come out and watch these? What's it like as a spectator?
Sometimes. Last year at Super Regionals, I happened to catch one of the last games, and so Tegan was in the circle, and I'm over here yelling, change up, change up. So I get intense, and her brother was sitting behind me. Tonight's been a little bit low-key, but no, I definitely get into it, and some of my former players from travel ball obviously hear my voice on occasion.
Yeah, I would imagine. Alex Brown going to go in the second. Kat, thank you very much. You know, they're averaging 7.5 runs per game. If only they averaged that when you were pitching.
Right. I think we were about 6 runs short of that one.
Yeah, I remember calling a lot of 1-0 and 2-1
Yes,
games, but you were amazing. And best of luck.
Thank you. Good to see you again. Thank you guys.
And I'll see you next week.
Yeah, I'll see you
Right.
next week.
Competition?
So. Yeah.
Yes, friendly
well,
right now.
It's friendly now. She does owe me a couple, but
It's true.
It's all right.
It's true.
At least.
It's all right. We're
right.
good.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
guys.
All right, so Kat Osterman, one of the general managers for the AUSL, which is starting up, and she and Jenny Dalton-Hill in the same position with different franchises. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be so exciting, and I feel like pro softball is just positioned in the perfect spot right now to take off and give these athletes the right platform to continue to shine.
So Alex Brown with the double, so one-out base runner for Maddie Moore, a senior who popped up against Salmon, who got the start tonight, just her 8th of the season. And boy, Kat Osterman, what a treat it was to watch her pitch. I don't know how anybody could hit her.
No, seriously. Just such a good mix of speed and movement. Everybody thought she was a rise ball pitcher. Then she developed this crazy drop ball, and then it became her bread and butter. She's just so good. And when you look at alumni for that are playing in the AUSL from these two teams, Bella Dayton, she's going to be on the Bandits, so we were able to grab her, and Mackenzie Clark actually going to Kat's team.
So Pie will be playing one of the best nicknames, Mackenzie Clark, known as Pie because
she likes pie.
You love pie. It's going to be very exciting and get things started with the AUSL. ESPN's networks will be covering them. Big opportunity for Moore with her team down 2-1, and Maddie Moore skies one that goes over the American flag and ties up the game.
Who else would be able to hit a ball like that in the postseason? And it's already come back over the wall. The Texas Longhorn fans don't want to see a Clemson Tiger home run out there and left. But Pam, that ball was blistered.
And she got under it a little bit too. I mean, that was a moonshot.
That ball was a no-doubter. She even gave a little bat flip coming off of it. No need to hurry out of the box. She leads the team in home runs. Adds to it, number 17. And Mom liking the big home run. All tied up.
So a pair of 2-run home runs in this game. 2-run shot by Leanne Good for Texas in the second. And the bottom of the third, Maddie Moore with one swing ties it up, and that was after the Brown double.
There's that changeup. That's the pitch that has to continue to be used against these batters to keep them off balance. While sometimes it can be a little bit too slow, you saw it coming in at the mid-40s. It does give the hitter a chance to clutch, reload, and get through the ball.
Stopped by Salmon, very calmly picks it up to throw out Noller for the second out.
But it's going to be important for Salmon to use the changeup, even though it might be a little too slow, to keep hitters off balance in the box. Umpire coming out to just make sure she was okay and that comebacker to the circle.
True freshman in the circle. And there's the senior. They have a gold bat. When you hit a home run, you get to sign it.
Yeah, she's signed it 17 times now,
Yeah,
so
that's a lot.
I think that pen's starting to run out of ink.
And you see the joy. That was one thing that Moore and the rest of the seniors got together to talk about before the season. It's like, hey, we got one more year. Let's go out. Let's have fun.
Yeah, the focus of this year was to have fun. Those seniors met and wanted an intentional, authentic experience for everyone on this squad. They said one of the hardest parts about it was that there's 22 unique personalities that needed to come together as one. But they realized that this was their legacy that they wanted to pass on, those seniors, saying that the previous alumni walked so that they could run.
And they are hoping that that journey will take them to Oklahoma City for the first time in the program's history, which is not a long one. This is just their 5th full season. 3 super regionals. Finally got their first super regional game win yesterday. That's into shallow left where it's handled by Good, but Maddie Moore with the 2-run blast ties it up.
Senior coming up big with a runner on second base. She was just trying to hit a line drive. Well, this one was no line drive. That was a no-doubter, number 17 for Maddie Moore, and it's all knotted up.
Salmon tonight, someone who only had 6 previous starts.
Yeah, she's showing real cool nerves right now, and she has the last part of the few weeks, you know. So we thought to give her a start and, you know, take us to the next step. So hopefully she's doing a really good job right now.
Well, and you've talked a lot about how the bottom of your lineup needs to produce for you. What is it that you need to do against a pitcher that you saw yesterday?
Yeah, just be patient. You know, they're very good at making you swing at their pitch, and we've just got to make sure we get our pitch and, you know, continue to press and push some runs back across the board.
All right, Coach White, thank you very much.
Thank you, welcome.
All right, Mike White, who came over from Oregon where he had great success and trying to take the team back to the Women's College World Series. They've been 2 of the last 3 years. Both times got to the championship series, and both times had to play arch rival Oklahoma, and we all know how that ended up. As Oklahoma's won 4 in a row. Maddie Moore out there talking at second. Hit a home run and now goes out to do her favorite thing, which is play defense.
Yeah, loved talking to her before the Super Regional started. And you're right, Pam. She talked about how she would much rather take 300 balls defensively than go hit on a tee for an hour. I don't understand that.
You can't relate?
I cannot. I loved to hit.
So does Reese Atwood, but she is still looking for her first hit of the Super after a very energized regional. That one goes a very long way and just foul. Wow.
So I thought Maddie Moore's hit was far. No, that Atwood blast one-hopped the building out there and left, and the base of that building is 280 feet away. That ball was absolutely blistered out to left, but just bounced.
Wow, as close as you can get. And that just shows you some of the power that Reese Atwood has in that regional, where they just steamrolled over 3 teams. They hit 478 as a team with 9 home runs. Reese had 6 of them. Or 3 of them, pardon me. The team had 6 home runs in 1 game against Michigan.
Yeah, the most home runs in a single postseason game.
She had 727, Jen.
Yeah, that's not too shabby for postseason play.
And the 13 RBIs just for the regional. But looking for her first hit here.
Yeah, had a good game plan against her yesterday. Did not give up a run to give up a hit to Atwood yesterday. They did intentionally walk her at one point in the game, knowing the kind of power that she has at the plate. Worked out for them. They got out of that jam.
That one also goes towards the wall, and this time she just clears it. Didn't go nearly as far, but it was effective. Atwood with the homer. Texas jumps back on top.
Big home run blast for Reese Atwood, the junior for Texas. And how do you throw a pitch that good to Reese Atwood? Home run number 21 on the year. You mentioned it didn't get out by much, Pam, but it doesn't have to. Over that 10-foot wall, Texas again on top.
Home run number 21 for Atwood. And Texas has not lost a game all year when they've hit at least 2 home runs. They have 2 tonight. good with a 2-run blast in the third. Or check that in the second, and now the solo shot here in the fourth for Atwood. And that has gotten the crowd going too, Jen.
You have to remember, this is now about the 6th time that these hitters have seen, okay, 5th time these hitters have seen Basinger. She was relieved by McCubbin in the 5th inning yesterday, but as Atwood came up to the plate, it's so much easier to hit off of a pitcher that you've seen multiple times. That's why I'm a little surprised that John Rittman went back to Basinger in the circle, but that's been the trend that they've had through the postseason.
We will be speaking with Coach Rittman after this half inning. We will pose that question to him. And again, ever since the ACC tournament started, Coach Rittman has started every game with Basinger and relieved her with Brooke McCubbin, just using those 2 pitchers. It has worked. Jolie Mitchell at the plate now. Clemson riding an 11-game winning streak. ACC tournament champions for the first time ever. Texas bowed out early in run rule fashion to Texas A&M in their first SEC tournament.
And it was conversations with Coach White about that game against Texas A&M. He said, you know, we just really struggled in the SEC tournament, but we're grateful that it happened when it did. It taught us lessons on how we need to show up every single day, or we're going to go home early.
Collins just nipped Mitchell for the first out.
I love how smooth Marion Collins is over there at shortstop, but there's times where she takes that additional stutter step or shuffle through her throw that allows base runners to get down the line. Sometimes it's to get a grip, but other times I need her to just hurry up that motion. The transfer happens quickly, but she's got to get her feet underneath her a little bit faster.
Katie Stewart playing left field tonight, the normal starting shortstop. Flew out to center in her first at bat. Only the 3rd time Clemson and Texas have played a game against each other. Last night was the 2nd one. Played it in February of 2022 when Texas won that one. And very few players remain from those rosters. Nobody for Texas played in that game. And was it just McCubbin who got in as a DP for Clemson?
Yeah, complete opposite role as what she has now.
A little bit of a pitcher now. Stewart chops it foul.
And I think last night's hiccups at shortstop actually hurt her production at the plate. In the regional, she went 7 for 10 and had 2 home runs. She's got 28 home runs with her first 2 years here at Texas combined. Last night, 0 for 4. I think she got in her head a little bit with those miscues at short and just could not get rolling at the plate.
And after a great regional, 7 hits, 2 home runs, 2 doubles, but she's still looking for her first hit this weekend. Handled by Collins for the 2nd out.
And it's so important to be able to separate your hitting from your defense. But it felt like last night, Katie Stewart could not get away from her defense. The ball continued to find her, and she struggled to just slow the game down at times to be productive at the plate.
So it's Leanne Good who is playing shortstop tonight. Moving over from second base, and she hit a 2-run home run her first time up. They gave Texas the 2-0 lead. Clemson tied it in the last inning with a 2-run home run by Moore, and now Atwood has untied it. All the runs coming via the home run.
And both these teams very capable of hitting the long ball. Coming into tonight, Texas had 83 team home runs. Clemson had 82. Tonight, 3 combined home runs, 2 of them by Texas, 1 of them by Clemson. It's almost like they're in a home run chase.
Right up the middle, solid single. for good. She's 2 for 2.
And I think this is a situation where John Rittman is going to want Basinger to try to get herself out of this inning. But I am fairly certain that we will see a pitching change next inning, knowing that Basinger has not gone the distance in any of the games that they've played in the postseason.
And it's not McCubbin, but Macy Cintron who is up and throwing, starting DP. And as you mentioned, Jen, has not seen a lot of time in the circle, especially later on in the season.
Well, and this conversation by John Rittman in the circle is not meant to tell his infield defense anything that they don't know. This is actually, I think, just buying time for Cintron to get ready in the pen, give her a couple more throws, see how quickly she can get ready in case Basinger does get into a situation where she needs help.
Vanessa Quiroga, the DP tonight, out on a comebacker to Basinger in her only other at bat. Basinger, the pitcher of the year in the league, in the ACC. Wants to be a surgeon someday. Excellent student athlete, has already taken the MCATs.
I'm always impressed by the smart athletes because I was an athlete student.
There was no doubt that that was the order in which those words should go with you.
It's true.
0-2 off the plate, and you saw Vieira pop up just in case Good decided to do something. They have not had a stolen base attempt yet. Good is just 3 for 4 on the season. Another single, back-to-back singles with 2 outs. Brockenbrough charged quickly to hold Good at second.
If Texas had had a runner with a little bit more speed, I think they would have challenged Brockenbrough out there in center, but you mentioned it earlier, not a lot of speed on the base pass, so she'll just stop herself 60 feet.
And I think you're right, Jenny. They was hoping, or Coach Rittman hoping they could get through the bottom of the order, which has not been producing for Texas. If they decide to go ahead and make the pitching change to let Basinger close out this inning.
Well, Cintron has not thrown in quite some time, and because of that, it's hard to scout against a pitcher who's not been in the everyday rotation. With that, they're trying to hide her as long as possible and try to get out of this inning at the bottom of the lineup.
Chance for more, and she tags out Quiroga to end it, but Reese Atwood, who sent one almost to the moon the first time it was foul, this one was fair and a line drive.
Yeah, you just need to get it over the wall by inches. Able to do so, 21st home run of the year, puts Texas up on top, 3-2.
Game 2, they've seen both Reese and Brooke. That combination has worked great for us. I just love the way we're competing. We keep battling, and Reese pitched her butt off right there. You know, she's doing a good job against an explosive offense. So we couldn't ask more of Reese, and we got everybody ready to go tonight.
Perfect. And with that Game 1 win under your belt, what was the conversation with this team coming into tonight?
It's a mature group. I mean, our leadership, you know, they know that, you know, you got to get Game 2, you know, and whether that's today or tomorrow, the biggest thing is they focus on one pitch, one inning at a time, and they go out and compete their butts off. And that's what you're seeing right here. They're playing with a lot of heart. We know Texas is a good program. We got to bring our A game to beat them. And I think you're seeing that tonight. Two really good teams going at it.
Yeah, it's a great competition. Thank you so much, Coach Rittman.
All right, thank you.
All right, so John Rittman trying to get his team one more win to get to the Women's College World Series for the first time. And as we were speaking with Coach Rittman, Brooke McCubbin went down to the bullpen to warm up.
Yep, and we expect to see all hands on deck. I don't know that McCubbin is going to be the one coming in with Cintron warming first. I think he might go with Cintron, knowing that if he has to play tomorrow, McCubbin will be key to that Game 3. So keeping her out of the circle tonight would probably be very important.
Vieira right through the middle. One pitch, and Abby's got her second single of the night off Salmon.
Well, and attacking early, not letting the at-bat get away from her. Good job just hitting that pitch right back where it came from to start the inning off with a base runner for Clemson.
You might see a pinch runner come in for Vieira as John Rittman heads to the plate.
And Coach Rittman talked about how this was the first year that Abby Vieira was able to start the season healthy, and it has shown that this year she's been more dynamic and powerful at the plate and able to have longevity, not getting injured in the season, and was able to stay around campus over the summer to train and not rehab, which she'd had to do the previous 3 summers.
Pinch runner Kennedy Ariel comes in to run for Vieira over at first. Now here's Collins, grounded out to second, her first time up in the infield, playing in again against Collins.
And obviously, Coach White, much smarter than I am. They're looking at the spray chart of Collins, but when I look at the spray chart of Collins, I'm not getting in her grill, especially over there at third base. She is able to take that ball oppo. She's got a ton of power, and off the bat, you don't have a lot of time to react when you're that close. Smart choice to lay off of that changeup. It was an 0-1 count. Yes, it does take the count to 0-2, but when you're not on time with that changeup, you're just going to get a little nubber, probably going to get out. So a good hold by Collins.
Collins lets that go by. All freshman performer from Marietta, Georgia, who originally committed to Charlotte. And then there was a pitching change and made the switch over to Clemson as that floats high. So she was a late recruit and different circumstances, but Clemson also, like Texas, was searching for a starting shortstop this year, and Collins fit the bill.
And Collins has been a fun infusion of fun, talent, and attitude for this squad.
Foul ball.
That's the word that Coach Rittman used over and over again when we talked to him, Pam, is that this team is fun. And finding that quality in a team, I don't know that he's had that for Clemson in years past. It's been very serious as they've tried to build the program into national prominence. They've done so, but this year it just feels a little bit more relaxed and confident.
So Collins was down 0-2. Now the count goes full. It's the second time that Salmon has gotten to a 3-ball count with a Tiger batter tonight. And she lost her.
Yeah, get your hotel room now.
Jay Gilgeous-Alexander, only the second Canadian to be named MVP of the NBA. Steve Nash did it back-to-back years, back in the aughts.
Well, these two teams would really like to be in Oklahoma City June 5th.
Oh, yeah. One of them will be there for sure.
Well, I don't know if they'll be there June 5th. That's during the Champ Series.
That's true, but at least they'll... We won't be there. They'll be there. All right, Jen, we got a walk after Collins fell behind 0-2. So the pinch runner Ariel's over at first. Here's Pipkins. Ariel now at second with Collins at first. Pipkins flew out her first time against Salmon, the freshman. Rather surprise starter for Mike White.
Well, that walk to Collins, the first one given up by Salmon tonight. I like that location, trying to jam up Pipkins at the plate.
Gutierrez and Simpson are now warming in the Texas pen. We saw Gutierrez yesterday come in to relieve Tegan Cavan.
Well, it's all hands on deck. I mean, tomorrow there's not going to be another game if Clemson wins this one. So Texas might as well just unload in the circle and get this win tonight. It's all hands on deck.
It's like the 7th game of the World Series, right? You just kind of empty the bucket, especially if you're Texas, because you lose tonight and you're not playing softball for many more months.
Well, and they're healthy enough to come back tomorrow and all of them be ready again. This is a primed team. They're pretty deep in the pitching circle. It's the defense where they have not been able to find a lot of good deep replacements defensively.
Pipkins, and that's grabbed beautifully by Good, who got the start at short tonight.
And in talking with Coach White, he said Leanne Good is our best shortstop, but they recognized that when they moved her to short, they gave up some quality at second base, and so moving Stewart to shortstop was their Band-Aid fix with Vivian Gutierrez going down. But tonight, or Viviana Martinez went down. So with Good at short, you're seeing a different kind of confidence over there on the left side of the field.
And a good job by the pinch runner, Ariel, for not straying too far off of second, because that looked like that ball was destined for center field.
Yeah, solid base running. That's what keeps you in ball games. And this time of year, you cannot make those base running hiccups and expect to win.
Johnson struck out on a rise by Salmon, and her first at bat's the only strikeout for Salmon in this game. Johnson did have a hit yesterday. Struggled a bit in the regional, where she struck out 5 times in 3 games.
And Johnson leads the team in strikeouts. Early in the season, she struggled at the plate, and so Coach took her out of the lineup. Coach Rittman saw a chance to try to find a hotter bat, but then earned her way back into the lineup, has all the tools, but is still learning those lessons at the plate in her sophomore year on how to be mature on the strike zone.
There's that change up again.
As a hitter, you're trying to find a way to tip that pitch, but I like the follow through of Salmon on that one. What I would be looking for as a hitter is the back of the hand coming through. That would tip me off to stay back and in my legs to time up that changeup.
Little check swing on a 2-2 count for Johnson. And you mentioned her strikeouts with the one tonight. She's got 42 strikeouts, the most on the team. So 42 strikeouts and only 25 hits for Johnson this season.
She's been really good out there in left, but just the discipline at the plate has struggled this season.
Inside, nope, an inside strike. Johnson goes down for the second time via the K.
Both strikeouts on the night for Salmon coming at this spot in the lineup. She was begging to get hit with that pitch. Didn't even get the bat off the shoulder. Beautiful spot for Salmon.
First 2 on, and now it's up to Brockenbrough with 2 away. Rounded out to third in her first at bat. Now Atwood goes out to chat with her freshman pitcher. Elise Atwood, first team All-SEC. Again, was an All-American last year, the Big 12 Player of the Year. And Earlier today, she hit home run number 21 on the season, at 23 last year, which was a Texas record, so she's chasing herself.
She's so good on both sides of the ball. A leader behind the plate, swings such a good stick, and just a junior.
Well, this would be awesome for Texas if they could get out of this after the first two runners got on for Clemson, trying to get a shutdown inning. After Atwood's home run in the top of the fourth gave them the lead back. And that gets through. Runner being waved home. Ariel scores. And Jamison Brockenbrough comes through.
We were told that Jamison Brockenbrough is most comfortable actually sitting on a tractor and mowing grass, but she is showing up big time here in the postseason. That's not an error by either the third baseman or the shortstop for Texas. That ball just had eyes to see its way to the grass. Brockenbrough fired up, because now we're all tied up.
Texas now tied up 3-3. Ava Wilson comes in to run for Collins over at second. And we are going to have a pitching change. Salmon, the true freshman, again coming in. Just 7 starts on the season before tonight. She's going to get a good hand and deserves it up against this Clemson team. Sophia Simpson coming in for the Horns now, and it's a tie ball game. We'll have more on her. 2 on, 2 out for the Tigers when we come back.
The combo meal changed the game at BK.
With so many options, I play my way.
Fries are my say, no compromise.
Winning big time, cause it's free to swap fries.
BK, have it your way.
Ginger, how are you there?
I'm good, Eric.
Looking up your prescription?
Yes.
It matters when you're looking for savings. Looks like we can save you money. There you go.
Thanks so much, Eric. I really appreciate you.
Where you get your medicine matters.
So a pitching change here in Texas, now in a tie ball game. And we go from the freshman Salmon to the senior Simpson.
Well, and the change in the circle, I think, comes to the fact that Simpson loves to throw the off-speed pitch. She had limited opportunities this season, no outing longer than 1 1/3. So this is just going to be maybe one time through the lineup for Simpson, trying to get out of this inning with any more damage being done on the scoreboard.
So the freshman Cambria Salmon getting the start, 3 2/3 innings, giving up the 3 runs, and she is responsible for the 2 base runners out there as Alex Brown in the top of the lineup comes up for Clemson.
The biggest difference between the 2 pitchers that Alex Brown has now is going to see tonight is now slower velocity. So as a hitter, you have to stay in your legs a little bit longer. I would move to the front of the box to try to attack earlier, knowing the velocity is down.
That gets by Atwood. Both runners move up 60 feet.
So hard when a pitching change is made in the circle. You've got to be able to make an adjustment quickly back there behind the plate. A lot less velocity means the ball's going to dance a little bit more when it hits the ground, and Atwood, that one went right through the wickets.
A wild pitch and a 2-0 count. Now it's 3-0. And Maddie Moore waits on deck. She had a 2-run home run in her last at bat. And if she comes up, that means potential trouble for Texas in a game they have to win to keep their season alive, and that's a 4-pitch walk. Bases are loaded for Moore.
Never want to put a runner on with a free pass, and at the top of this lineup, you're looking at power. Maddie Moore in her last at bat came up with Alex Brown on second base, and she blasted a moonshot. Little bat flip, tied up the game. Maddie Moore in her senior season is leading this team with a ton of confidence.
And that home run was Maddie's 200th career hit. And that tied the game up at 2 apiece. Reese Atwood with the home run for Texas in the top of this inning, put Texas back on top for the second time, and now Clemson has tied it. And a very important conversation as Mike White comes out to talk to his battery.
Well, Sophia Simpson had only faced 25 batters before coming into tonight. So there's a lot of emotion going on out there in the circle. Yes, she knows how to pitch well. Yes, she's put in her hours in the bullpen and in the weight room and in training. But having this experience, it's hard to replicate that in practice. And so being able to produce quality strikes with bases loaded in a super regional that you have to win, there's a lot riding on the shoulders of Simpson at this moment.
She has thrown 5 pitches, all of them balls, since coming in to relieve Salmon. Moore takes a strike.
She agrees with it. She's shaking her head, yes. Moore is not the batter that Texas wants at the plate right now. She is 5 for 8 on the season with bases loaded opportunities.
Atwood able to keep it in front of her.
So important to block this ball up, and I want to see Atwood actually come through and just keep that in front by turning the glove the other way. With the backhand there, she opened up a chance for that ball to squibble away.
Pinch hitter Wilson, or pinch runner, pardon me, Wilson over at third. It's upstairs.
We've seen Maddie Moore in situations like this swing too big and not be disciplined at the plate. So letting that rise ball go shows that Maddie feeling pretty comfortable in the box right now.
And now she gets a 3-1 pitch. Another ball that skipped in, and Simpson walks in a run.
So much pressure in the circle right now. I mean, but you have to be disciplined at the plate. That was not a deceivable ball. I mean, out of the hand, that was completely low, and when it comes in that low, it doesn't even raise your heart rate as a hitter.
And Simpson faced 2 batters, walked them both, and she is being lifted. And we have our 3rd Texas pitcher of the inning. It's Citlali Gutierrez, who we saw yesterday in relief. Comes up with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Clemson up by 1. Texas trying to get out of this inning. Mike White making his 2nd pitching change of the inning with Gutierrez.
Well, Gutierrez came in a tough spot last night. Came in, pitched 2 innings of relief, gave up just 1 earned run. She's going to need to show up quickly in this situation with bases juiced.
The back-to-back walks given up by Simpson. The last one forced in a run. And here's Julia Noller. She had a 2-run double against Gutierrez last night.
And with Citlali in the circle, upper 60s when throwing her velocity, but has an off-speed drop, an off-speed curve, and an off-speed rise. The drop is her pitch with good velocity, and it tunnels well with her slow stuff, but right now just needs to challenge these hitters to put the ball in play and trust her defense.
2 runs in for Clemson in this inning.
This pitch right on the corner. Really good spot.
Perfect. 2-2 pitch. They're on their feet. Noller just held back.
So much discipline at the plate, and Noller in her sophomore season.
Full count, bases loaded, 2 away. Noller with a short pop up into right field, grabbed by Bennett, but Clemson comes from behind again to take the lead.
Clemson back against the wall. They want to play and get to their first Women's College World Series. John Rittman probably thinks he's funny, warming up Cintron over there, trying to trick us, Pam, but we knew Brooke McCubbin would probably be the reliever. It's been their pattern ever since the postseason began at the ACC Championship.
And she faces the top of the order here in the 5th inning, and Ashton Maloney, who got a single off of Basinger in this game. McCubbin pitched the last 3 innings of last night's game. That is lifted towards Johnson for the first out of the 5th inning.
I've been so impressed with the way that Brooke McCubbin has taken the circle. Maybe the most impressive outing she had was in the rain against Virginia Tech. Came in, shut the game down. Clemson fought a 7-run deficit to come away with the win in the semifinals and push them to the final game where they won the ACC championship for the first time in program history.
All 3 of those victories come from behind. They have come from behind tonight, did so yesterday in the Game 1 win. Here's Caden Henry.
We talk about those comeback wins, Pam. They've had 23 comeback wins on the year. Clemson knows how to play from behind. They don't panic. They just continue to grind at the plate and play solid defense behind their circle.
Henry last night had a 2-run single off of McCubbin. A 7-4 Clemson win. Again, Clemson wins tonight. They'll pack their bags and go to Oklahoma City. Texas wins. We'll be back here tomorrow night for the decisive Game 3. John Rittman, who had so much success at Stanford, trying to take this franchise to its first series.
And he started the program at Clemson, but he got that blueprint when he was an assistant coach at Washington when they started up their softball program back in the 90s.
Full count, lifted into short center, but Brockenbrough runs well, reads it, grabs it. Let's get to Matt Schick. Thank you very much. Liberty, who took out the #1 overall seed, Texas A&M Aggies. First time a #1 has fallen in the regional round since we started this new format with Supers back in '05. And they are out west in Eugene.
We talked last night about what we would need to have, and we called it second dessert. I'm ready for that ice cream to come up to the booth, right?
Get out of here and go watch some softball. Mia Scott files it right back.
I almost got to protect you,
Just
Pam.
a few feet short of Jenny being a hero.
Of Kat Osterman Booth.
Osterman would have caught it.
Oh, wow. She had longer arms.
She's way tall. So for Clemson, they have literally used only 2 pitchers, and here they are, and in this order. Basinger starts, McCubbin finishes, and McCubbin with more wins and just about 6 fewer innings, even though she has come in to relieve Basinger, and it's been a 1-2 combination that's worked beautifully. They're unbeaten.
Well, it really fits the narrative of the comeback wins that Clemson is kind of known for now this time of the year. They fight all the way through, even with that deficit at the end of the game. McCubbin comes in, solid performances, and then the bats come alive and support her in the circle.
Tied for most in Division I with the 23 comeback wins, and a lot of pacing in that dugout. And McCubbin, you mentioned, it's so brilliant in the rain, and the semifinal win against Virginia Tech. They were down 6 going into the bottom of the 6th inning and won it. Scott, on a full count pitch, draws the walk with 2 away.
Well, the hard part about that, yes, Mia Scott is one of the most dangerous hitters in the lineup for Texas, but now you give way to Atwood, who hit a home run in her last at bat. It came off of Basinger, but that's another hot bat that you have to be careful of, knowing that once you get past Atwood, the bottom of the lineup has been very quiet. So I would not pitch Atwood competitively. I would keep this ball off the plate, see if I could get her to chase, and be okay with a walk, knowing that the bottom of the lineup just has not been able to produce consistently for Texas.
Atwood is such a threat. Did not have a hit last night, but a home run. That's in the hole, and Collins decided to make the throw. There's a freshman mistake for you.
And took her eye off of her throw. She knew it was gonna have to take a really strong throw across the diamond. And in doing that, threw the ball into the dugout. What that does is it gives the advantage to the offense. With that ball going into a dead ball territory, every base runner advances a base. So Texas now sits at 2nd and 3rd instead of being over there at 1st and 2nd.
Boy, I thought Collins, when she turned like that, was just going to eat it, but instead she, as you said, without even looking at first, threw it, and it was nowhere close.
And she didn't get her shoulders opened up to make the throw. By turning towards 3rd base, she left her shoulders closed, which took that ball so far inside 1st base. There was nothing that Julia Noller could do but watch it go into the dugout.
The ball on the field that the runner from 1st base is on time. There's a challenge from Clemson that the runner left early from 1st. This play is under review.
All right, so Clemson is having the umpires review to see if Mia Scott left 1st base early.
Well, Mia Scott is not your typical base stealer. She's 4 for 4 on the year. They've
been so close.
I'm glad that's not my job. The throw is not in question. It went in the dugout. Base runners advanced because it went into dead ball territory. But did Mia Scott just kind of nonchalantly come off the bag prematurely? That's under review.
And so an infield single, and rightly so, credited to Reese Atwood. And then the throwing error enabling Atwood to take 2nd and Scott to take 3rd, but did Mia leave early?
Well, and the crazy thing is she was not even trying to advance on a stolen base attempt. It was just maybe just not paying attention to details over there at 1st base and playing it a little too loose. Yeah, she's off the bag, Pam. It's close, but when you're not stealing, there's no need to even make it that close, especially with Atwood at the plate.
So the folks in Pittsburgh looking this over. Has to be enough evidence to overturn the call on the field, which was that she did not leave early. No one caught it. And this, you're right, Jen, this is huge. You're talking about, you know, runners on 2nd and 3rd. You have Mitchell coming up, who had some productive at-bats last night with a double. Each coach gets 2 challenges.
this one decision changes the focus and momentum of this ball game.
After review, the call on the field is upheld. Save it, second. 2 outs, second and third. Clemson's first challenge.
So grateful for replay review that does give us a chance to go back and get calls right. The call upheld and the ball going into the dugout moves the runners, now both of them into scoring position.
2 away for Mitchell. Second year at Texas after starting her career at Notre Dame. Played against Texas when she was at Notre Dame and Florida, Clearwater, and said Texas lost to Notre Dame, and she remembered thinking, how did we beat them? They're so good. And she wanted to play at Texas and has closed out her career here. And now she's up in a big-time spot.
When the defense had been pulled in, now with 2 strikes, they do take an additional step back.
Atwood at second, Scott at third.
When your job as a hitter right now is put this ball in play. Do not go down with a strikeout. Do not go down looking. Make sure that you give a competitive look at the plate. Punch this ball through the infield.
Mitchell sends it to the wall. 2 runs come around. Jolie Mitchell on a 1-2 count with a 2-run double, and Texas leads again.
Jolie Mitchell was such a good player at Notre Dame, but wanted a bigger experience, and so after graduation, had 2 years of eligibility, coming over here to Austin, playing for Texas, and in the biggest at bat, perhaps, of her career, she comes away with a huge hit, almost leaving the yard. Ball off the wall, Texas on top.
That 10-foot wall out there. It's Jolie's second double of the weekend. First one came off Basinger yesterday. And Katie Stewart can pad the lead.
And that throw by the shortstop, Collins, now comes back to haunt her. If she just holds on to the ball, it would simply be runners at first and second. They'd maybe plate 1 run. But off the wall, it rebounds off of Johnson, which doesn't give the kick back to Brockenbrough, who was ready behind her to back her up and throw that ball in. But if Collins had held onto that ball at shortstop, don't even try to make a throw. Don't try to be the hero. Hold on to it. Maybe only 1 run comes around to score. That's a lesson that the freshman will take with her through the rest of her career. That was something that she needs to learn from and not do again.
Big cut for Stewart on a 1-2 pitch. She is Texas going to its 4th pitcher of the game, and Tegan Cavan, who got the start last night.
Cavan has been used more as a starter than a reliever this season, but has struggled down the stretch her last 7 starts. She's pitched 28 2/3 innings. She's given up 30 earned runs with a 7.33 ERA, and so needing her to get locked in quickly. Throws with a lot of velocity. That rise ball should use it to all levels, but has about a 12-inch vertical break difference between her rise and her drop.
Pipkins was 1 for 3 against Cavan last night with an infield single. Collins at second base. Gutierrez leaves, gave up a couple of hits, a home run and a double. Scott with the good look over to second to freeze Collins, and throws over for the second out of the inning. NCAA Women's College World Series begins Thursday, May 29th for the 24th straight year. ESPN has every game. Final start Wednesday, June 4th in OKC. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships.
One team already with their ticket to OKC, Texas Tech, with a big win over Florida State. Perfect in Super Regionals. Nyjah Kennedy.
Yep, threw every pitch of the Supers, hit a home run yesterday. Gave up just one run in the 2 games. Kennedy, she's like, World Series, that's old hat. She's been there twice with Stanford. Now she goes with Tech. Kylie Johnson trying to come up with a big 2-out base hit, but swings right through the Cavan pitch.
And we've mentioned it already. Strikeouts have been a struggle for Kylie Johnson, now facing a really good rise ball in the circle. She's going to need to stay on top of it to be successful in this at-bat.
Tegan Cavan, you mentioned she's scuffled a little bit in her last 7 starts here in relief. Her first 21 appearances, her ERA was a sub-2, and that has ballooned in the last few games. 1-2 to Johnson. Got her. Cavan does her job. Ground out and a strikeout. Collins stranded at the top of the 6th. Pam Ward and Jenny Dalton Hill. We are here in Austin, Texas, another packed house. And the Longhorns with 4 pitchers. Reese Atwood, good with a home run. Long balls also for Clemson. Maddie Moore and Macy Cintron. Texas needs to win. That would be a home run if we were like on a cricket pitch, because this is what she did earlier tonight.
Leanne Good is just feeling good at the plate. She is attacking the pitches up in the zone. Had a home run in her first plate appearance. It was a 2-run shot. That gave Texas the 2-0 lead. And that foul ball that she just hit was clobbering.
We've had a couple of them go foul. Atwood hit one that went a long way that was barely foul, but then she hit a home run in her later in that at bat. Safe. Good. Beat out the Alex Brown throw to start off the 6th.
Brown was going to need a much stronger throw to be able to get Good down the line. She got it quickly, but that time in the air prevented her from being able to move through that ball very well. Good is fired up at first.
Megan Good is 3 for 3 tonight, has made a couple of really nice plays going back to the shortstop position in the field. Quiroga with a big swing and a miss against McCubbin, who came in to start the 5th inning, relieving Basinger. Quiroga down 0-2. Clemson with the win goes to its first World Series ever. Texas trying to force a Game 3. Team that has been to the World Series 2 of the last 3 years, trying to go back-to-back. McCubbin sets down Quiroga for the first out of the 6th.
And that's what makes McCubbin so hard. She changes velocity and tunnels the drop so well with the off speed, and when you're that far ahead of the off speed, you're a swing and miss strikeout ready to happen.
Katie Bennett, the number 9 hitter. He's trying to advance Good over a base as we see Alex Brown playing in at 3rd. Throws the bunt and takes a strike.
And what they're looking for there, that fake drag, is giving Coach White the defensive shift of how they will play this. And with that flash of the drag bunt, the third baseman has to play in.
Foul, out of the reach of Brown.
But now with 2 strikes, takes the short game off the plate. Will allow Alex Brown to play a little bit more true to her position, back even closer to the bag.
Right back to McCubbin, throws over to short, and Collins just got her foot on the bag. Looks like she couldn't find it at first.
It's really hard on those comebackers when you're playing deep in the, or over towards the 5-6 hole. You got a lot of ground to make up because you have to make sure that you play the ball first. McCubbin gets it quickly and gives a nice lead throw over to Collins. I think the slide by Good actually pushed her foot into the bag to get the force out.
Her foot kind of kept Good away from the bag. Tough play again. Brown, safe. As Maloney slid into first.
And this is played perfectly. When you get a ball that's hit softly, the only defensive player that can make that play well is the third baseman cutting across hard. Good call on the field. We talk about it all the time. Diving into first base does feel more aggressive, but it is actually slower than running through the bag.
It's science. If she would have busted it down the line, she would have beaten it out easily. But still, she's safe. Now 2 away and a chance for Caden Henry. Henry, one of the top 4 in this lineup, all hitting over 400 on the season. The Texas team is second in the nation in batting average. Only Indiana had a higher average.
The pitchers for Clemson have actually attacked Henry so well tonight. Last night, Henry was 3 for 4 with a double and 2 RBI. Tonight has not been able to get a hit.
1-2, and McCubbin comes up with a couple of big strikeouts. A couple of infield singles.
And last night.
Nia Scott and Texas in a must-win situation to force a Game 3 here tomorrow night. Clemson, 1 win away from its first World Series appearance. And it's the bottom of the order, and then with Brockenbrough, and then Brown and Moore due up. Pam Ward, Jenny Dalton-Hill joining you, and Jamison Brockenbrough coming over from Tennessee. And remember those ads for the world's most interesting man? She might be softball's most interesting person. Going to intern with the Clemson grounds crew, setting that whole thing up. We hear she likes to walk around barefoot. It's just she was described as a country hippie by her teammates.
Yeah, Coach Rittman says she's quirky, but she's been the perfect energy for the clubhouse for Clemson.
And at the ACC tournament, I love this one. She got on the charter to go back home and came on the plane carrying 2 plants that she had bought somewhere at a garden center in Boston to fly back to Clemson.
It was not shopping weather in Boston when we were there, Pam. It was in the 40s and rainy, but she rescued 2 plants and brought them back to Clemson.
Teammate says she loves her some plants. Kavon has to hurry and does. Brockenbrough retired to start the 6th. Softball is the best, and tomorrow, just 11 a.m. Eastern, that's 10 o'clock here in Texas. We have Florida, South Carolina, Oklahoma, and Nebraska all 1 win away from going to the World Series. We will be here if Clemson loses at 9 Eastern time. So just stay in, watch softball, and be renewed.
Grab your orange juice, grab your bagels.
Water your plants.
I mean, always water your plants.
Alex Brown has a double and a walk. First time facing Cavan tonight. Again, Cavan, the 4th Texas pitcher, pardon me. Started yesterday with 5 innings, gave up 6 runs, 5 of them earned, and took just her 5th loss of the season against 23 wins. Just a sophomore. First team All-SEC, over 200 strikeouts this season, but scuffling a little bit down the stretch. Came in the last inning and got 2 outs with a runner on second to end the threat.
Well, in this season, Tegan Cavan had 18 strikeouts in a 9-inning game against Texas Tech. The first time that had happened since...
I would guess our guest, Kat
Osterman. Exactly.
Yes. Kat was up here in the booth with us earlier tonight.
In a friendly way.
Yes, for now. Brown, little chopper. But Bennett throws over. Second out. Cavan with 3 ground ball outs and a strikeout since she came in.
Well, Cavan is such a good pitcher. We usually see her in that starting role, but now in relief, trying to keep Texas in this one so that they can push this to a game 3.
Maddie Moore hit a 2-run home run back in the 3rd inning off the starter Cambria Salmon.
And last night against Cavan, Maddie Moore did get a hit, but she struck out on the rise ball. She's been very aggressive up in the zone, trying to swing away for the fences. Cavan took advantage of that aggression, kept the ball right over the barrel. When you've got a power hitter, it's kind of a free swinger. Maddie Moore can be susceptible to that ball at the letters.
1-1 pitch.
Maddie Moore has a couple of different stances that she uses in the box. She talked to us about why she goes to the double touch with that front foot. She says it's a timing mechanism that she uses, so she'll stand in the box, she'll touch back, and then touch out to that stride. She says she likes to use that when she's facing velocity in the circle. Allows her to be short to the ball.
That was a 71-mile-an-hour pitch from Cavan. Home plate umpire Mike Bartling. Changing the ball. And we just heard some commentary on that. I won't repeat from the fans. 2-2 now to Moore. Held up and not a swing.
That takes discipline. That ball looks so big coming in. You think you're going to just send it to the moon. Good velocity, but up in the zone. Right? No, not a swing.
Watch strike 3 go by. Tegan Cavan has been perfect since she came in the last inning. Texas coming up in a tie game. But leading things off here in the 7th against Brooke McCubbin. Mia hit a home run last night. Reese hit one tonight. Texas has to win to force that game 3 tomorrow night. That one is sent into left field, but playable for Johnson. The fans get up and sit down.
Well, off the bat, it does look like the ball's going to travel well, and Has a little arc that just lands right in the glove of Johnson.
Reese Atwood was almost perfect in the regional last week with 3 home runs. Hit one earlier tonight off of Basinger.
I mean, her regional was astronomical. 3 home runs, 13 RBI. Her last at bat here tonight, or her at bat in the 4th was a big home run.
Her last at bat was a hit as well, a single, and she scored.
Was that the single or was that the error by the shortstop?
She singled and there was an error by the shortstop.
Got
Infield
it.
single and an E6. Our scorecards are
a little bit busy.
They're not going in the Louvre, that's for sure. But Reese Atwood, boy, what a threat she's been. Great career. Not over yet. Just a junior. Most RBIs, best slugging percentage for Texas. You mentioned 13 RBIs. She was 8 for 11 in the regional. That's 727. Look at 3 home runs. Trying to keep it going here against McCubbin.
Well, and Reese Atwood is the first player to hit 45 or more home runs and 175 or more RBIs in her career. 204 RBI coming into tonight.
Atwood's 84 runs driven in. First in the nation. That was 84 coming into tonight. She's got another one, so make it 85. And she draws the walk with 1 away in the 7th. Pitchers are always, or should be careful with her.
I'm not upset with that walk. Knowing that Atwood could put a run up on the board quickly, I think McCubbin danced around the zone effectively. Atwood able to show discipline and put herself on.
Jolie Mitchell had a huge 2-out, 2-run double against McCubbin in the 5th. They gave Texas a short-lived 5-4 lead. Clemson came back to tie it in the bottom of the 5th. That's where we still are now in the 7th. Mitchell got underneath it. Collins retreats to the outfield grass for the 2nd out.
Left fielder, Katie Stewart.
And now Katie Stewart, who is looking for her first hit. She's 0 for 7 in this Super Regional. Put out in left field to start the game today after some struggles at shortstop, and here's a chance for big-time redemption.
Nice little off speed, kind of pitching backwards in this one, knowing that Stewart was trying to hit velocity in that first pitch. Took advantage, just snuck in a strike.
Stewart's 2nd team All SEC this year. Just a sophomore. Stung over the head of Coach White, who got hit yesterday, but told us he was all right. He's fine.
He got lit up. I mean, hard line drive right at him. All he could do was turn. He luckily didn't hit him square, glanced off of his back. Scary moment, though.
The Stewart's behind 0-2. With Atwood over at first. Atwood has to hustle back as Vieira gives her a little stare down. We have really, and that's 2 good catchers right there, right? Really good catchers, Vieira and Atwood.
Well, Atwood knows what she would have done in that situation.
Exactly.
She got hung out. She would have totally flipped that ball down to first.
Chop foul. McCubbin's 62nd pitch. Play by Brown, throws across, brilliantly done by Alex Brown to end the inning, stranding Atwood.
Sharp defensively back behind McCubbin. This play by Alex Brown, back behind third base, backhands it on her knees, has to get up and throw all the way across the diamond to get Clemson back.
11 walk-off wins, tied for most comeback wins. And this 11-game win streak, unbeaten at night. They also have never, not in this season, lost a game when they led it after 4 innings. They did today. And they can win it here in this at-bat, Jenny Dalton-Hill.
Well, and that stat was actually true of Clemson, or of Texas yesterday. They hadn't lost with a lead after 4. Unfortunately, that streak was ended for them yesterday. Clemson, with a win here tonight, gets themselves to Oklahoma City for the first time in program history.
Noller, Cintron, Vieira due up against Tegan Cavan, who came in with 1 out and a runner on second in the 5th inning, and since then has set down all 5 batters she has faced. A couple of strikeouts and 3 groundouts.
Well, you mentioned Clemson having 11 walk-offs this season. 4 of them have come off the bat of Julia Noller.
That's lifted into left field. Off the wall, Noller trying to get a double, and she is thrown out. Katie Stewart with the throw. The shortstop moved over to left field in this game, makes the throw to get Stewart, or to get Noller, who's staying on second base.
We have a challenge from Clemson. Play at second in challenge. This play is under review.
I think what they're looking at is if there is obstruction going on at second base. She is tagged out, but is the leading edge of the bag blocked by the defender? If it is, no, I think she played that well with her feet on the right field side of the bag. I think she left plenty of base to be able to advance to. But the way that was played defensively out and left was absolutely perfect. With Stewart staying back to play it off the wall, then given a huge, strong throw into second base. I mean, that's the home field advantage for Texas, knowing how high that wall is and then being able to field it off the wall and give a strong throw for the tag. I think the tag is applied. I don't think you have an obstruction call to look at in this situation because her feet are beyond the infield side, giving Noller a chance to advance without it being blocked.
I saw Bennett when she first put her glove down, she hit the dirt and not Noller, but she got her on the second chance. So this should be upheld.
Call on the field is upheld.
And a single for Noller, and then thrown out. 7-4, and Clemson.
Well, and the problem I have with that play as a base runner is the fact that when you are running to second base, the play is happening in front of you. Put the brakes on and head back. You're the leadoff hitter in the inning. Give yourself a chance to just continue the inning without an out.
Cintron hit a home run her last time up. That was against Gutierrez, the third of the 4 pitchers we've seen for Texas. And so instead of having a runner on first and nobody out, you got 1 out and nobody on. Good throw out there and left for Stewart. In the middle of the lineup with some damage. Maddie Moore with a 2-run home run out of the 2 slot. And then Cintron, who was up, had a home run to lead off the 5th.
It was a huge hit by Cintron. Remember, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters in this lineup are freshmen sandwiching a senior. Cintron's huge hit, her 14th home run of the year.
2-2 pitch on the way from Kavan. Got her.
The thing that makes that drop ball so effective is the fact that that rise ball is working so well tonight. Doesn't have drop ball spin. Looks like it's a low rise that just stays at the knees. Dirty pitch, big strikeout.
3rd K for Kavan. Vieira has a couple of singles tonight. He takes a strike. Now Atwood goes out to chat with Kavan. With Patty Ruth Taylor. Her 2nd season on the staff for Mike White, and see Kavan, she practically perfect except for that leadoff single that Noller tried to stretch into a double and was thrown out. So,
well, this conversation is knowing that this is the part of the lineup that's been the most dangerous. They want to make sure that they understand what the calls are coming through on that one-way transmission device worn on the wrist. Though it's not a big conversation being had on the wrist. So if it just says 1 ball off plate screw, I mean, it doesn't even say that much, but that's what's trying to be communicated. And I think that conversation was just trying to help Kavan understand how to attack this hitter.
Scott throws out Vieira, and we are going to extra innings. Kavan has been great since she's come on in relief. We're going to D8. We'll go to a pinch hitter perhaps for Quiroga. He did have a single earlier. That's lifted up in the air, and Brockenbrough running like she's in bare feet. Grabs it.
Flowers in her hair, feeling comfy in the clubhouse. Yeah, the perfect energy for Clemson, keeping it loose, but also so good out there in center. The only player on that on the Clemson squad who has World Series experience when she went with Tennessee.
That was in her freshman year, and Quiroga is indeed hitting. There's Jamison, or as her teammates call her, Jam. Coven beginning her 4th inning in relief of Basinger. It's been the 1-2 punch in the circle since the ACC tournament started for the Tigers. You could hear the call from Kylie Johnson from here saying mine, 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 and it was.
Nah, she said ball, 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 but I get what you're saying.
No, I don't think she did.
I know
she's
she
out,
did.
out. Remember that. It was effective, whatever she was saying.
Well, nobody was near her anyway, so
okay.
I think she was safe. But that's the right way to call it.
But you want to communicate, right?
Yep. And that's what Clemson has
all
said.
The kids watching at home.
Clemson has said this year has been made better by their communication, from their defense to their circle, and then in the dugout communicating adjustments need to be made at the plate.
Katie Bennett playing left field yesterday is second baseman today, and that sent Brockenbrough back all the way to the track. 1-2-3 inning. Clemson coming up in the bottom of the 8th. Just that one hit by Noller, and she was erased at second on that throw we just showed you from Stewart. And that's a base hit off the glove of Bennett by Collins, who took the first pitch for a little bit of a ride.
Right fielder Taylor Pickens.
Well, Collins, the most successful hitter down here at the bottom of the lineup, pulls that pitch in the 3-4 hole. It's up the middle. Bennett was playing a little too far up the middle, which gave Collins the chance to start the inning off for Clemson over there at first.
Second hit off Kavan. Here's Pipkins, who has come up with some big hits for Clemson this year, the true freshman. Coach John Rittman said about Pipkins, and I quote, "She's our clutchest hitter."
And she became an everyday starter during their series at Stanford. Had not been an everyday starter up until that point, which was about midway through the ACC season.
Pipkins only has 4 home runs on this season. One of them, however, a grand slam against Virginia in the quarterfinal win in the ACCs. And then she hit a 3-run shot against Kentucky last week in the regional clincher. Let's go back to chilly Boston for the slam.
Do we have to? Because it was cold, it was rainy, but Pipkins, huge shot. The ball sat in the outfield for a while until someone had to walk out to the parking lot to pick up that bat. Biggest hit of her young career.
This freshman class that has re-energized this program. The energy in the dugout, which never ends. That's in the gap. And it falls, but Collins had to hold up a little bit.
And we talked about it yesterday, Pam. When Noller is in the circle, there's a lot of miss hits. She doesn't allow hitters to square the ball up, but because of that, it's hard for the defense to cover all the ground required. Those miss hits fall in often, and the defense for Texas actually talked to us about how frustrating it is knowing that she is so good in the circle, and missing the barrels allows the ball to get in for base hits often.
And also because it was so softly hit up in the air, Collins had to be careful about not getting doubled off should it have been caught. Now a lot of information being exchanged. Winner of this Super Regional gets the winner of Florida and Georgia on Thursday in Oklahoma City. Florida won game 1 of that Super this morning. Up comes Kylie Johnson, who has had a rough night. She is 0 for 3 and has struck out against 3 different pitchers. Nobody on, or nobody out, and 2 on. That got away from Atwood, and now there are runners on 3rd and 2nd.
When Pam, don't forget, when they had their backs against the wall in regionals against Northwestern, they went to extras, and in the 9th, Coach Rittman squeeze bunt for the win.
A wild pitch on Kavan. Nobody out. Collins over on 3rd represents the winning run and a trip to Oklahoma City. Looked like a hittable pitch.
I'm gonna call that a cookie.
Defense playing in. $70 miles an hour. It missed. Now 2-2.
I'm looking for Johnson to be on the attack. As a hitter right now, you got to be like a lion. You cannot stand in there and expect Kavan to dance around the zone. She's going to come right at you.
Lifted out of play. Clemson in the Super Regionals as a team, just 5 for 23 with runners in scoring position. That's a .217 average, but they won last night, and they are very close here. with 2 on and nobody out. Johnson just got a hold of it. Brockenbrough on deck, and then we turn things over to the top of the lineup. Vaughn with 3 strikeouts tonight, over 200 on the season, could sure use one here.
It looked like it was about to hit her in the box. Johnson, you mentioned it earlier, has struck out 3 times tonight off of 3 different pitchers. Her last strikeout, though, was off of Kavan.
And she rings her up. 4th time Johnson has struck out tonight. 2 looking, 2 swinging.
First out of the inning, that ball is hittable, but just not able to get the bat off the shoulder. 0 for 4 for Johnson, all of them via the strikeout.
Really struggling in the postseason and trying to get the squeeze down is Brockenbrough.
That looked more like a safety squeeze, Pam. The runner at third base did not take off right away. Because of that, that tells me they're going to play things a little bit closer to the vest than taking off right away. With just 1 strike on the batter, it's still on the table.
All the defenders playing in again. Brockenbrough going to more of the short game, especially earlier in the season after an injury, but certainly capable of getting it out.
But the defense ready to keep the ball on the infield, knowing that the winning run is standing 60 feet away.
Hit right to the shortstop, good for the 2nd out.
Huge moment. Less than 2 outs. Right at good. Is Kavan going to be able to get out of this huge jam?
First 2 runners got on with singles, then the strikeout of Johnson. Brockenbrough with the soft liner to short, and Atwood wants to have a conversation with Kavan.
And Kavan talked to us before this Super Regional started, saying that hearing her defense behind her made her settle down and throw better in the circle. Atwood recognizing a chance to settle down her pitcher in a tight spot, calls that timeout, brings the defense in to support their ace.
Top of the order, and Alex Brown. He's doubled tonight. Kavan, can she get out of it? Yes, she can. 2 singles to start things off for the Tigers. Strikeout, line out, ground out. We're going to the 9th.
Ice in her veins. Comes out of the circle, gets a huge 3rd out.
Texas wins. Brooke McCubbin in the circle for Clemson. Pam Moore, Jenny Dalton Hill on this lovely night in Austin, Texas. This is the 5th inning of relief for McCubbin. That's a foul ball off the bat of Maloney. So here we go for Texas. Top of the order here in the top of the 9th. And it had been the top of the order who did all of the damage yesterday in game 1, a game they lost. 4 straight 400 hitters coming to the plate for Texas. McCubbin has thrown 10 more pitches than Reese Basinger, the departed starter, did tonight. Up in the air, easy one for Collins, first out of the 9th.
I mean, with Brooke McCubbin in the circle, we know that they go to their reliever. She's been the trusted arm that gets Clemson the finishes they need. She's got 3 strikeouts tonight, and they will ride her arm to the finish of this one.
Caden Henry looking for her first hit tonight. Miss Basinger can come back into pitch, the starter. But you don't anticipate that.
No, the emotion of McCubbin is just, she's ready to be the workhorse until this game is over.
And McCubbin has certainly started plenty of games for Clemson over the year. Another chance for Collins, 2 outs.
Third baseman, Mia Scott.
McCubbin with 18 starts on the year. Basinger now with 34.
It's their pattern. If this does go to a game 3, you can expect that Basinger will be your starter again. McCubbin will relieve. I mean, it's just the MO of Clemson this time of year.
Mia Scott has walked and scored tonight, hit a home run last night. Reese Atwood on deck. So this will be a significant out for McCubbin. You don't want to face Atwood with a runner on. Scott into center field. Brockenbrough can't come up with it. Scott going all the way to third, where she will be when Atwood hits.
Off the bat, you knew this ball was going to go a long way. I don't understand why the corner outfielders did not back up Jamison Brockenbrough out there in center. Kylie Johnson went left. Taylor Pipkins went right while the ball was going right up the gut. And as it ricochets off the wall, it's up to Brockenbrough to be able to go and get that ball that continued to go away from her after falling down. It's an easy stand-up triple for Mia Scott.
Just her second triple of the season, and they're going to put Atwood on. And we hear the boo birds out, but this is the play to make.
I'm not pitching to Atwood in this situation.
No. Or you would say, heavens no.
Heavens no.
No, no, no. She was intentionally walked last night. Here she is again. So runners on the corners for Jolie Mitchell, who had a big 2-out, 2-run double in the 5th inning. Tonight. And it's the only play to make.
Makes sense to me. You don't want Atwood to beat you with 2 outs. Why would you give the chance for the biggest hitter in the lineup to win the ball game?
Atwood leading the country in runs driven in. And now Coach Rittman comes out.
Well, I wonder if they do this as well. I think they walk Jolie Mitchell. Go ahead and load him up and challenge Stewart at the plate. Remember, Jolie Mitchell had a 2-run double back in the 5th, and that came off of McCubbin.
Katie Stewart in this Super Regional is 0 for 8.
So if you're a Texas fan, you're saying she's due. If you're a Clemson fan, you're saying you can get her again. But they'll have to face Jolie Mitchell, or they'll have to face Jolie Mitchell before they get to Stewart.
So a combined 10 runs and 21 hits in this game. And there's Jolie Mitchell. Came over from Notre Dame, wanted to play in the Texas program. Dea Wallace, the pinch runner, going over to first to take over for Atwood. And let's see the strategy as they pitch to Mitchell. Low, and Wallace takes off, uncontested, takes second.
And what that showed you is your first baseman's breaking hard, your third baseman's staying back.
So they are pitching to Mitchell with first base open. Scott at third, Wallace at second. 2 outs, that's in the left field. Playable for Johnson. Texas strands 2 more runners. And we go to the bottom of the ninth. Clemson with the heart of the order, starting off with Maddie Moore, who has a home run tonight. Run back in the 5th inning. Check that, the 3rd inning. Tegan Cavan came into the game with a runner on second base and 1 out in the 5th inning. And has kept the Tigers off the board.
And at this point in the game, yes, 1 home run can win it for you, but you've got to put consistent pressure on the pitcher in the circle. Tegan Cavan, obviously a trusted ace out there, but last inning is exactly what you need to do. Put string base hits together to be able to just keep pressure on the defense for Texas. They got out of a tight jam back in the 8th. Maddie Moore, though, is that senior that can leave the yard and finish this game.
After Moore, it's Noller and Cintron. Cintron hit a home run earlier tonight.
Great discipline. That rise ball is one that I was always chasing because it looks so good coming in. You think you can just put a charge in it, get it over the wall. But great discipline by Moore holds up.
Now a full count on Moore to start the 9th. Swing and a miss.
That changeup, so pivotal right now. Being able to pull that one out of your back pocket to get a free swing, and Maddie Moore way out ahead starts the inning in a much better way than the 8th.
5th strikeout for Cavan. And here's Noller, who was thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double in her last at bat. That was in the bottom of the 7th.
Aggression's always appreciated, but you better make sure that you are aggressive appropriately. That play happened in front of her. She needed to stay put at first base and keep the stretch running, or keep the inning rolling.
She was thrown out by Katie Stewart, who got the start tonight, in left field, and Leanne Good playing short. She's made some nice plays, so a good defensive switch by Coach White for this game.
That inside pitch right now that is just eating up these Clemson hitters. That's the one you need to attack. It's coming in with velocity, it's sitting flat, and you're going to be able to just rope this ball down the line. They continue to hold up on that Cavan pitch.
Bennett, tough play. And Noller is able to get on first. Another slide into first, but she's safe.
Yeah, put that on the list of Pam pet peeves.
That's my biggest triple P. Let's run through it.
Well, and
you could get hurt.
It's a great job by the second baseman to glove it up.
Excellent play just to keep it in the infield by Bennett.
And maybe even more impressive is Mitchell recognizing that ball was not going to be close to making a play, coming off the bag and just playing that by keeping it in front.
So after the single, Noller being pinch run for. It's Sam Minish, first time we've seen her this weekend. Minish representing the winning run now as Cintron comes to the plate.
And that's a lot of heat coming out of the circles, touching 71 miles an hour. You have to make sure you're on time for the velocity and then adjust to the changeup. But get the bat off the shoulder for that big speed pitch. We've talked about how Kavon has increased her difficulty by being good going up and down, rise ball and drop ball. About 12 inches of separation between those two pitches. So hard to get on plane with a rise drop pitcher.
Tegan Kavon looking like the Tegan Kavon that we've all known. That rough stretch we talked about in the last half a dozen games or so.
And there it is, that drop ball. Nice, nasty bite at the bottom of the zone, getting a big Cintron swing.
It's the second time that Kavon has struck out Cintron tonight. Now it's Vieira. Kavon with 6 strikeouts tonight. Last night in 5 innings, she only struck out 2, taking the loss.
And if you're sitting at home wondering, why are they not hitting that? Why are they swinging under it? It's got some nice little wiggle at the end. It gets right over the barrel. Yes, sitting at home, that ball looks like it's sitting flat, but I guarantee you, if you are sitting in the batter's box, that ball does not come in flat. That ball has a little bit of break up in the zone right at the end to get over the barrel.
Oh-2 pitch to Vieira with Minish over at first. Protecting the plate, 2 strikes. Looking ahead to the Texas 10th. Stuart Good and Quiroga due up. They're fighting off some pitches. Doesn't chase. That goes to 1-2. Just got a piece of it.
Well, if you're a young player at home watching the way that Vieira stands to the plate, you'll maybe wondering, why does she stand with that front foot closer to home plate? And that close stance is actually something that helps her spray the ball through the field and not be a dead pull hitter.
Hung in there, but Keegan got her anyway. Struck out the side. Minish, the pinch runner, stranded on first. The night goes on in Austin.
Use this changeup, the drop ball, and a nasty screw. 3 strikeouts in the inning. We head to the top of the 10th.
Decisive game 3. Katie Stewart leading things off. Takes a hack at the McCubbin pitch. McCubbin approaching 90 pitches. She came in.
And that just shows you how strong Katie Stewart is, because she got jammed up on this inside pitch. But strong enough to punch it out there to right. Ball inside, hands inside. Ball inside the first base line.
Leanne Good has 3 hits, including a home run. The 3 hits ties her career high, also at 3 against Sam Houston. 3 of them here with much higher consequences. She falls behind 0-2 to McCubbin. Both dugouts or bullpens, excuse me, are quiet.
No, you got aces in the circle right now. I don't think they're looking to relieve anybody on either side. These are the 2 trusted arms for both of these teams.
There's a nice block behind the plate by Vieira.
Well, Vieira is just so good back. And Pam, I would not be surprised if that goes down as a hit. That ball took a little bit of a bounce right there at the end and ate up Collins. Wore it off the shoulder. Appreciate the fact that the shortstop bodied it up to keep it in front. That'll go down actually as an error on the shortstop. That one might get changed though, Pam. I don't know that she was going to be able to put a glove on that ball.
So the error on Collins puts 2 on with nobody out. And Quiroga will be pinch hit for by Katie Simmons.
Simmons came in as a pinch hitter yesterday for the DP Victoria Hunter. Did not get a hit.
Katie, a senior from Humboldt, Texas, has been platooned pretty much all year. Did not play at all in the regional, and as Jen mentioned.
And I like the fact that Alex Brown gave a chance for Moore to get there. Didn't try to time up the throw or lead her with it. It was a hard bunt right at Alex Brown. That hesitation allowed Moore to get over and cover, but now Texas.
John Rittman continues to be the most unpopular guy in Austin as he is greeted by boos as he goes out into the circle, and there is some activity now in the Clemson pen.
I don't know that you're taking McCubbin out. I think she is doing exactly what Clemson needs her to in the circle. Not fatiguing, keeping her velocity up, hitting her spots.
Megan Good, what a night for her as well. 2-run home run earlier in the game. She's made some nice plays at short. Reached on an error and scored just now. And it's 7-5. Caden Henry up. She's had a quiet night. She's ahead 3-0 with Mia Scott on deck. Clemson Tigers have won 11 straight games. Undefeated under the lights in night games this year. Here comes pitch 100 from McCubbin in relief. Came in to start the 5th inning, and here's her 100th pitch. Fisted. Collins couldn't get it. Everybody's safe. And here comes Scott.
Another hitter jammed up, but strong enough to punch it where the defense isn't playing. Such a great effort by Marion Collins. Can't glove it up, but does keep it in front.
Henry at first, Maloney at second. For Scott, tripled her last time up and was stranded. She is the 7th Longhorn to bat here in the 10th inning. Trying to break it open. Bear again keeps the low pitch in front of her. Atwood's on deck again. Lifted into left field for Johnson for the 3rd out, but Texas plates 2, and they're 3 outs away from forcing a Game 3 tomorrow.
Leanne Good sitting on second base. Didn't want to stop there. She took it all the way home. 2 runs scored that inning for Texas.
Collins has 3 hits, but has been stranded on base every time. Playing shortstop, a couple of errors for her tonight. The one in the last inning you think might be changed.
Yeah, that ball to Collins popped up on her. I think that will be changed by tomorrow. There was a little conversation between Collins and the home plate umpire after the first pitch. She was asking, was that a strike? She did not hear the call. Now sits in a pretty deep hole against Cavan.
0-2. Atwood setting up well off the plate, but Collins did not chase.
Hold by Atwood back behind the dish, letting the umpire know that she thought that was a strike.
Good sliding attempt by Stewart. Still 2-2 to Collins. All the way to the backstop on a bounce or 2. We have a full count after Collins fell behind 0-2. Lifted into left field, Stewart plays it. 1 out.
I think Texas has found their recipe for success. Out and left, Stewart so confident.
Threw out a runner too.
Yeah, well, and shortstop, just the game sped up for her over there yesterday.
Pipkin singled her last time up. against Cavon. That was in the 8th inning when Clemson got their first 2 batters on, got them as far as second and third base respectively, but then a strikeout, a line out, and a comebacker. Cavon escaped. Last night, Teagan threw 109 pitches. This is number 82 on the way tonight. She falls behind 3-0. Johnson due to hit next. Time is called.
And Atwood recognized that the pitch clock was going to be expiring. And if she allowed that to happen, it would have put an additional ball on the count, which would have been a walk to Pipkins.
Pipkins taking all the way, takes a strike.
That action clock restarts when the pitcher gets the ball back in the circle. She has 20 seconds to deliver the pitch. The batter has 10 seconds to get back in the box and be ready to hit.
3-0 to 3-2.
This time of the ball game, I'm looking for hitters to be aggressively attacking strikes, and right now the swings for Clemson seem very defensive.
Another full count pitch on the way to Pipkins with Johnson on deck. Lifted into center field. Henry is very good at catching softballs. 2 away. Now here comes Kylie Johnson, who has struck out all 4 times she has come to the plate tonight. Cavon has gotten her twice. Gutierrez got her, and the starter Salmon as well.
I thought at first John Rittman was going to make a change in his hitter, but I think that was a conversation about the action clock and needing to have a little bit more accountability to it, knowing that it's being exploited by this battery of Texas.
It was Johnson who hit the 2-run home run in the 7th inning that beat Florida State 2-1 in the ACC championship game. She has been struggling here in Austin. Two out, nobody on. Cavon trying to nail this down so we can play here tomorrow. Another night game in Austin. See, Oregon and Liberty are tied in the bottom of the 7th out west.
In her 4 plate appearances here tonight, we've mentioned how she's had 4 strikeouts. 2 of them have come on the rise ball. 2 of them have been on an inside pitch. The inside pitches have been looking strikeouts.
And 3-1 to Johnson. Brockenbrough on deck, the number 9 hitter for the Tigers. Now the Longhorns are 1 strike away from forcing a winner-take-all Game 3 tomorrow night. But Johnson draws the walk.
She'd been a free swinger on that rise ball. I like that Kavon went to it, but just out of the zone, too far to get the swing and miss. Not believable out of the hand.
And that is the first walk given up by Kavon since she came on with 1 out in the 5th. 7 strikeouts and now 1 walk. That brings the tying run to the plate, and Brockenbrough, who is not a power hitter, as you see, just the 2 home runs. So the defense playing in. And that gets under the glove of Bennett at second, but Henry playing shallow, backed it up quickly, held Johnson at second. And now we go to the top of the order again, and Alex Brown.
Well, and attacking early as Kavon tried to get ahead. I mean, that's what you have to do in this situation.
Alex Brown has grounded out twice against Kavon tonight. She represents the winning run, the Super Regional winning run. Last night, Brown had 3 singles off of Kavon. 0 for 2 tonight against her. Johnson at second, Brockenbrough at first, and Maddie Moore on deck. Should Brown reach?
Alex Brown does have pop in her bat. She's got 4 home runs on the year, had 4 last year. She is the highest average hitter in this Clemson lineup. Pitch. The burnt orange umpire sitting in the stands wanted that call. So did Atwood as she brings it back in a couple of inches to try to get the call.
It was inside. And hit the outer corner to even the count. And we will be back here tomorrow night as we take a look